How beautiful are thy feet with shoes, O prince's daughter! The joints of thy thighs are like jewels, the work of the hands of a cunning workman. Thy navel is like a round goblet which wanteth not liquor. Thy belly is like a heap of wheat set about with lilies. Thy two breasts are like two young roes that are twins. Thy neck is as a tower of ivory, thine eyes like the fish pools in Heshbon by the gate of Bath-rabim. Thy nose is as the tower of Lebanon, which looketh toward Damascus. Thine head upon thee is like Carmel, and the hair of thine head like purple. The king is held in the galleries. How fair and how pleasant art thou, O love, for delights! This thy stature is like to a palm tree, and thy breasts to clusters of grapes. I said, I will go up to the palm tree, I will take hold of the boughs thereof. Now also thy breasts shall be as clusters of the vine, and the smell of thy nose like apples, and the roof of thy mouth like the best wine for my beloved that goeth down sweetly, causing the lips of those that are asleep to speak. Song of Solomon 7, King James Bible. Now, languages being what they are, sometimes things get lost in translation. Up in verse 2, they talk about thy navel being like a round goblet. The part of the anatomy being referenced is not the belly button. It is a place on the female anatomy a little bit farther south, and I will leave that up to your imagination. However, I would like to ask, primarily the ladies in my audience, a question. I wonder which one of King David's wives this was meant for. Number 3, number 7, number 4, which one? You see, it opens up an entirely different discussion about what actual biblical teaching is. Women are a blessing to men. Actual women are the highest blessing a man can ever have. It took me hours and hours to find this particular picture because it doesn't show earrings or baubles or fancy clothing or makeup. It just shows the wonderful blessing we as men have every day. Now, sometimes it can be a scourge. This is Liz Wheeler at the Young America's Foundation. I want you to remember that. Young America's Foundation. It is a conference aimed at youth. Yesterday in a video I talked about this amazing, nauseating hypocrisy from some women at TPUSA in Tampa when they threw out Brandy Love because they didn't agree with her chosen profession. After having sent her an invite, by the way, after she paid for the ticket, and after she arrived. You see, Liz Wheeler, one of these, has no room to talk. And here's her tweet. Your daily reminder that pornography is a scourge that destroys marriages and families, which are the fundamental bedrock on which people rely instead of big daddy government. So no, porn is not conservative, and I can't believe we're having this conversation. Miss Wheeler, you have no idea what you're talking about. First of all, I thought capitalism was the bedrock. I thought it was capitalism. And if your marriage and family is so fragile that even pornography existing is a threat to it, doesn't say a lot. But let's get back to Young America. You see, funny story. Here she is at Young America in her nice tight little red dress, sleeveless, deep plunging V neckline, about 10 inches above the knee, sitting on stage where, well, at certain angles things can be seen, and we'll just leave that there. But real quick question. Which one's the porn star? Just at a glance, which one? Who's dressed like a porn star? See the image on the right? Brandy Love. That's exactly how she showed up to TPUSA, wearing her badge. It just says, SAS, Student Action Summit, Brandy Love, Adult VIP. She's wearing a gray dress with her purse. That's it. No makeup, one necklace, and her wedding ring. On the left, we have Liz Wheeler. Tight, skin tight, form-fitting dress. Way above the knee. She's got bracelets on both wrists. Necklace, earrings, makeup, the whole bit. So which one? Can you tell by looking? I can't tell by looking. And lest we turn over to Timothy, Miss Wheeler, and start talking about the Bible's exact and specific prohibition against painting yourself up this way. Heavy, thick red lipstick and makeup and gold baubles. I think we can start to see the depth and level of your ignorance and your hypocrisy. But like I said, I thought capitalism was the goal above all things, right? Isn't that what pornography is aimed at? They're not doing it because they're having fun. They're doing it for money. They're doing it for money. And especially in the online world, you have to physically go seek it out and search it out. It's not like you're going to go walking down the street or go to the grocery store and make a corner around an aisle and then see pornography. You literally have to go find it and seek it out. But here's a funny story I bet you didn't know, Miss Wheeler. See, American Christians used to be socialists for this reason. This is the Sojourner. American Christians stated many years ago, capitalism was neither a natural force nor a supernatural one. This hand was not invisible, and it was certainly not the hand of God. This was warned of a long time ago. And lest anyone think I'm picking on just Liz Wheeler, here's another great example of hypocrisy coming out of the right. I have said before, I'll say again, there are a lot of fake conservatives. They're actually Northeastern and West Coast liberals just parlaying their assets into money. Trish Regan, her tweet, the power of capitalism as she worships high holy Jeff Bezos launching into space, the billionaire. Think about that for just a second. Think about this for just a second. Republicans won't win the culture war if they clutch their pearls and start moralizing just because a porn star agreed with them. See, when you get to here and you go back to here and you see what's really being written in the Song of Solomon, you start to see a pattern. You start to see a pattern. And just to put a little bit of icing on the cake, some people have said, but Maki, there were kids at that conference. Really? There were kids at this conference. It's called the Young America's Foundation. It's called the Young America's Foundation, and this is how she showed up dressed to talk to young Americans. Here's the full dress. But, to put the cherry on the sundae, I'm sure many of you know who this is. This is Ivanka Trump. You want to talk about kids? What age is appropriate for a girl to start dressing provocatively and start walking up and down a catwalk? 15? Well, guess what? Your notorious, wonderful leader had his daughter out on a runway dressed like this at 15. Modeling. And you can look that up. 1996. Is this appropriate? Would you dress your 15-year-old daughter that way as a conservative? As a conservative, really? And even later in life, would you put your hands on your own daughter this way? Think about this, and this is for the men in my audience. that are supposedly so diehard in love with Donald Trump. Would you do this? Get a good eyeful. This is the guy. This is the guy you think is so great. Are you starting to see the pattern? Are you starting to see the pattern of Northeast liberals pretending to be conservatives? And Donald Trump is one of them. It's just beyond that anybody can't see this. That anybody can't see this. And once again, Miss Love, on behalf of the state of Florida, we apologize profusely. We're going to start reviewing people we allow to come into our state and have events. And we're going to have discussions. And I defy anyone who didn't know these two women or who they were to look at these two pictures and say which one is the porn star, which one is not. And I guess I will just leave that there. Because you see, this is the exact opposite of that. This is the opposite of that. These are just girls going to the beach having a good time, and they don't care. They don't care what you think of them. They don't care. She does. She really does here. And I will leave it there.